They find out about themselves. They find out about, each other. They find out, hey, if I'm hungry and tired, I've had sleep in 2 days, I can still move out and execute that mission.
The scenario is a movement through hostile territory. At each stopping point, a security perimeter must be set up.
And back up out of that poison ivy.
Students are expected to put information that was shotgunned at them early in the course to practical use.
All right, let's go. The general subjects phase was tough, especially if you didn't know anything about demo or knots. Patrolling phase can be very difficult, and sleep deprivation. I tell you, I'm tired right now. Zero sleep, zero. So.
Some of the stuff that we learned here, we learned during the GS phase earlier, 2 and 3 weeks ago, that we touched on once. Now we got to implement it a couple weeks later when you're sleep deprived and a little on the hungry side.
Today's mission: get into position for an attack tomorrow. The platoon will have to overcome a series of challenging natural obstacles first.
What is the security plan right now? The PL is not here. So who's in charge of this patrol right now?
What we have to do to get these students to rise up to their peak leadership ability is to induce this extraordinary amount of stress, as close to battle as we can possibly make it. We overwhelm them with various forms of stress, be it simulated artillery, long movements, difficult missions, or just those very leading questions.
Why are all these people continuing to come down this hill and stacking there like firewood?
They put you in a lot of stressful environments. They're hollering at you when you're leading and whatnot. So it teaches people to make decisions.
Get hot.
They don't let you dither around too much. You dither around, you pretty much get no-goed pretty quickly.
What are we doing? What are you doing?
I'm here to just...
I like to ask open-ended questions, and questions that the student usually doesn't have an immediate answer for, or will, in fact, create some level of confusion and an induced form of stress.
The first of the natural obstacles, a 90-foot cliff at the bottom of a steep incline. Knots are again very important. For some, rappelling is a breeze. For others, definitely stressful.
Hey, just ride with it, Sapper. Get your hand out of that rescue weight and just rappel.
The rucksacks are so heavy.
That's a technique, I guess.
That any rappeller who tips winds up making the trip upside down with no chance of righting themselves.
Sapper, that was so ugly. I'm thinking about making you go again.
That was terrible, Sergeant.
I know it was. I'm seriously considering. Get over there.
At the bottom,
Hey, you with the AT-4, you're dead. Get down, Gearling. Get down. You don't want to get down behind cover and concealment, you're dead.
Hey, pick up that casualty!
the platoon suffers casualties and has to cross a stream under attack. Fortunately, the water is down and they don't have to throw up a temporary bridge. On this patrol, what comes down must go back up. On the other side of the stream, a 90-foot vertical ascent. The mission called for the entire platoon to be on top of the cliff by 2030. Cadet Caleb Edwards was acting as assistant platoon leader.
He asked me what time I thought I could do it in. I said, oh, we'd probably get it done by 1930.
I think that would be impressive.
He asked me if I'd be willing to bet my chow on that. So I was like, yeah, I'll bet my chow. I didn't know I was betting the whole platoon's chow.
I played his words against him a little bit, and I said, so you're willing to bet your patrol's chow, all of it, for the day?
Alrighty. We've got the ball rolling.
Yeah, I put him in that dilemma. You know, what would you do in that particular situation? Are you willing to risk everything that your men, have on the line?
Food.
And are you willing to put your, a little bit of yourself forward?
It made us work a whole lot harder. We didn't make the hit time, but everyone took it pretty good. They weren't too mad at me.
We didn't make that hit time, but we're going to make our hard time. So mission's still going to be success, minus chow. The medics were just informing us on, or recommending types of things to eat, because we were talking about eating berries. So they said they recommend eating insects higher in protein and less likely to get poisoned.
Hey, you tied it, you ride it.
Oh. We ate at 5 o'clock in the morning 2 days ago, and then we ate this morning around 6. So it was a good meal this morning.
The grueling pace of the patrol wears on even the best conditioned soldiers.
Gotta be the heavy rucksacks.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Heavy rucksack.
Takes a toll on your body. Weight down with about 60 to 80 pounds at a time.
Give or take, any day, yeah.
This has definitely pushed me to my limits. I'm like, dang, they weren't kidding, you know, and they said the rucks were heavy and, you know, days were long.
By this point, some are drifting off even in daylight. The nights have been an even bigger challenge. Take the sapper who struggled with sentry duty on night 3.
He's just, you know, he's bobbing back and forth, and I guess he finally went to sleep and hit the ground. And you could hear it all over. People just hitting the ground.
Your stuff is supposed to be inside your Alice pack.
What's going on at this point?
Walkers rotate every 24 hours during the patrol. They end with a critique of students' leadership performance during their shift.
What was you doing? Sleeping. Sleeping. And you as a leader should have known I need to get up and take a knee.
I hate when they don't do good, you know.
He may not have gotten to go on his patrol, but he may have learned something, you know, a valuable lesson, something he can still take back to his unit with him. Stay motivated, Sapper.
All right, sir.
You know, that's, I guess, what I'm having trouble with, too. Is
I can always find something wrong, but I think, you know, it really takes something to find something right about an individual and help them see what's right in them, and then help that individual improve, helping them become better leaders. It's not always about pass or fail. It's what you walk away from the course with.
The patrol concludes with an attack on an enemy bunker. A Bangalore torpedo will be used to breach the concertina wire defending the bunker. Captain Joshua Eggers, platoon leader for the morning, told us that this part of the patrol was more tightly scripted than anything else in the 4 days.
It's to show you what right is. We're going to push you out there and let you try to accomplish the missions and critique what you've done, and then we're going to try to culminate that in an exercise that turns out pretty much correctly.
The wire is breached.
Grenade out! Go.
The bunker overrun. Casualties are taken.
Where do I got for EPW search team?
Sapper, that's it. Hey, better support your chain of command.
Yes, sir.
You guys pulling security?
Check for an exit wound. Is it just entry wound? Nye has a blown off leg.
Blown off leg.
For those who didn't pass some of the earlier tests, there will be makeup tests the next day. For select others, the 28-day Sapper Leader course is over. Only 21 of the 46 class members have earned a Sapper tab.
No matter what anybody tells you to kind of prepare you, it's more than what they said. It was very physically and mentally challenging and very rewarding. I enjoyed it a lot.
You know, I went in the course thinking I'm just going to smoke this thing. It's going to be easy for me, you know, because I'm bad at the bone. But it was a gut check, and it was humbling.
One of the best things I think I learned about myself is that your body will do more than your mind thinks it can. You'll get to a point where you think you can't go, but all of a sudden you just keep on trucking.
Okay, just fall back.
I learned a lot about leadership, about being a leader by myself. I learned a lot about myself.
Sapper's hole.
The Counter-Explosive Hazards Center at Fort Leonard Wood is named for the late Sergeant First Class Paul Smith. He was the first person to be awarded the Medal of Honor in Operation Iraqi Freedom. And he was a sapper. I'm Tech Sergeant Ryan Hoke, and you've been watching Recon.